Okie dokie, boys and girls, it is day 26 of overcoming injuries. And well, if this is not a textbook example of breaking through a plateau, I don't know what is. 8 reps on the left arm, 10 reps on the right arm, and well, I've been stuck, when I started training one arm pull ups, I could do 5 to 6 reps on each arm. And after I came back from Japan, almost 2 months later, I was still on those 5 reps. And then suddenly, I managed to break through the plateau, go to 7 reps, go to 7 and 9 reps, and now go to 8 and 10 reps. So yeah, I managed to break through my plateau finally. And there's a couple things that I, took care of, that I paid attention to in order to break through the plateau. So today I figured I would talk about it. And well, perhaps it's going to be a long talk, so I'll just show some other training during the video. But anyway, first thing that I want you to realize about the plateau is usually you're not in a plateau because your strong parts need to get stronger. You're in a plateau because your weak parts need to become less weak, right? And so what you want to do in your plateau is work on the weak spots. For me, hanging here, especially on the left arm, that's why my left arm is weaker, hanging here and then retracting my shoulders in order to pull up, that's a weak spot. And for different exercises, you could have a different weak spot. Perhaps you realize in the planche that your bicep is always the limit, or in a regular push-up, you notice that your shoulders are always getting tired first, right? You want to work on your weak parts. And so what I try to do during my regular trainings is to really make sure that I go to a dead hang and then bow back up, because then I'm having more time under tension in that specific position. I'm working on the weak spots, right? Because I can already pull to here, right? I just need to make sure that that I can get into the correct position in order to pull efficiently. So work on your weak spots. That's the first thing. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone, but also, and this is in order to work on your weak spots and form in general, what I've really noticed that helped me break me through my plateau is greasing the groove, increasing total volume, but at a low intensity. If you think about it, it's kind of the same thought process, the same way to train as running. Because in running, you will notice, well, runners do a lot of volume. They go running for hours, especially at the professional level. But only a small part of their training is actually intense. Like I would say between 10 and 30% of running is really intense, working on speed. But all of the other stuff is it's called easy running, because you don't really get tired doing it. You just do it because it trains your heart. And in the same way, you can apply this principle to strength training, where you're doing low intensity and you're not really getting tired, but you're training your technique. And this is called greasing the groove, where you basically repeat the same movement, the movement you want to get strong at. For me, it's the one-arm pull-ups, and you do it every day, multiple times a day, just one set, and a very light set. Let's say your maximum pull-ups is 15 reps. You would do 5 reps or perhaps even less, right? And so you're not tired from doing those pull-ups, but because you're not getting tired, you can really pay attention to the technique, right? So I can focus on extending the arm and going back. And that's basically 2 ways I broke through my plateau. I want to mention a third one, but I have to kind of think about it. Hold on. Okay, yeah, I remembered. The third one that I want to mention, the third trick that I used to break through a plateau, is a bit of a shift in your mindset, because oftentimes we think we are operating one step at a time, right? We think we are doing our training patiently, even though we're not. So, when it comes to the one arm pull up, for example, unlocking your first rep doesn't happen overnight. It's not going from 0 to 1 rep and that's one step. No, you have to go through a lot of steps. You have to first master your pull-ups. Then you have to master assisted pull-ups, right? Perhaps doing one hand and then 2 fingers of assistance. You have to move through all of these progressions, get stronger at them, and then finally, after a couple months or even years, you can unlock your first one-arm pull-up. But for some reason, once we unlocked something, let's say I could do 5 one-arm pull-ups, we think going from 5 to 6 reps is just one step. No, it's not. It's quite a big difference. You're adding another 20% to your set, basically, right? Because, well, one is a fifth of 5 reps, so you add another 20%. And that's not one step, that's multiple steps. So, in the same way, you can shift your mindset in order to take smaller steps that will allow you to get not 20%, but perhaps 1%. And if you repeat it 20 times, well, then eventually you can go to that extra step and do the sixth rep. You can manage another rep. And basically, that means that you should stop regarding your specific goal as the only definition of success. So if I was training one arm pull-ups for I think 2 months or something, and my one set maximum reps didn't really get better, right? But I didn't think about, or at least in the beginning, I was thinking as like, oh shit, I'm not getting stronger, I'm failing, right? But then I shifted my mindset to trying different things, trying to get marginal gains in different areas. So I would do assisted one arm pull ups, I would aim for total volume, I would just basically try to chip away at every other goal regarding the one arm pull up, except for my max attempt, except for the maximum amount of reps in one set. And once I had done that for a while, I was doing volume with assisted one arm pull ups. Once I tried one arm pull ups again, I noticed like, hey, even though it's the end of my training, they're feeling easier than before. And at that point, I could really just go back to my training, going back to unassisted one arm pull ups. And then guess what happened? That's when I broke through and got those extra reps because I didn't just get stronger 20% in one go. I just got stronger half of like 0.5% or 1% like every couple days. And that helped me to get over the edge and basically get another rep in my set. So yeah, that's very important as well. Okie dokie, so that's gonna be it for today's training. I think I will have just shown the clips that I did on the site while I was talking because I've been talking a lot. But basically, max attempt, which I'm very happy with because I'm doing greasing the groove at the moment and I'm doing it a little bit too hard, to be honest, right? I'm going over 50% of my max, which is not the ideal situation. So I was tired going into the day, but even so, I got a PR. So very happy with that. And then, well, the other exercises, I am doing fast one arm pull ups, but not at the top, at the bottom, so I can strengthen the area. And basically, in the end, I also did one set to the max on band assisted pull ups. And that's just, well, if I do a band assisted set, then basically I'm able to go longer and I want to get 10 reps in the one arm pull up. Doing longer sets for endurance is beneficial. So, yeah, that's kind of how this training was structured. First, a max attempt, then working on the weak spots, then working on endurance, the kind of the finisher of the workout. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. I'll see you tomorrow for an exciting leg day. You will hear what I'm talking about tomorrow.